I literally get goosebumps because it gets me so pumped and energized about everything that we do as a brand, and especially because we're celebrating such a milestone year, which is our 10-year anniversary. So before we get too far ahead of things, I want to say thank you all for being here tonight, all of you beautiful people who traveled so far and near to be here. And I also want to say at this time that we have some very special attendees, and I'm waving to you because we had Facebook Live and our fans across the globe on Facebook joining us, so thank you. We have some amazing things in store tonight and such a powerful conversation with such powerful women. But before we get there, I want to take a moment and talk a little bit about the brand because we are celebrating such a milestone year. So it's our 10-year anniversary, as you saw in the video, and it's been quite a journey where we've been all about innovation, we've been about empowerment, and we've also just been about revealing the true beauty within. So, because it was our 10-year anniversary, we really wanted to relaunch the brand, and so we launched the new Modern Eco, which features new products from all of our lines, whether it's body care accessories, hairbrushes, or cosmetic accessories. With all that being said, we also wanted to raise the bar on our hashtag #MyTrueBeauty campaign that we started last year, and so tonight is a part of these efforts. As you can see, it's a very, very exciting year for us, and we hope you're inspired to get involved. So, whether that's speaking to the sisters, the wives, the girlfriends in your lives, or it's donating to causes like Glamorous the Girl Project, or it's just motivating other women, we hope that you will give back and be inspired to do more in your everyday life. So again, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Tiffany White. I'm the EcoTools brand manager. And I have the absolute pleasure of working with some knockout women as partners for EcoTools. I am going to, without further ado, introduce one of them. And it is Miss America 2017, Savvy Shields. So I want to make sure we give Savvy a proper introduction. So I'll say, during her year of service, Savvy will promote her personal platform, Eat Better, Live Better, which aims to educate people on how the foods we eat make an impact on our lives. She will also continue her work as the National Goodwill Ambassador for Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. And I will say that she's been such a great addition to the EcoTools family because she's blazing quite the trail. So thank you, Savvy, and welcome.
Can we give her one round of applause, please? Oh my God. Yeah. Thank you so much for your kind words. Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here. This is just such an amazing night to be part of. I've been looking forward to it so much. But my journey with EcoTools has actually been, I guess, a decade in the making. I've been with them since as long as I can remember. They were the first makeup brushes that I ever used, and I've gotten to see firsthand how the impact that they're trying to make and the branding that they're using to show women and to inspire them to find their true beauty really is making an impact. So thank you all so much for what you do and for letting me be here. This is amazing, and I'm really excited because tonight there's 3 extra chairs and they're filled with some really amazing and beautiful souls, and so I get to introduce them to you all right now. First and foremost, we have Vanessa Hudgens. This Scarlett is no stranger to the spotlight or for creating her own through her unique style, passion, and personality. She began her career in the world of musical theater at the age of 8, and Vanessa has been performing on the stage, dazzling fans with her gorgeous dance moves and killer vocals for years. However, it was Vanessa's role in Disney Channel's breakaway sensation High School Musical that garnered her much praise and attention. Vanessa's career continued to blossom on screen and on stage, including starring in the title role in the Broadway musical Gigi, and earning audience and critics praise for her incredible performance as Rizzo in Fox's Grease Live. Vanessa is currently the lead in a new TV series, Powerless, and as EcoTools' 2017 ambassador, Vanessa is helping to raise awareness for the My True Beauty campaign to inspire others to live their most beautiful life. So let's give her one round of applause. Welcome, Vanessa. Next up, we have no one else than Lauren Chan, Glamour Fashion Features Editor. Lauren Chan is the fashion features editor at Glamour, where she covers fashion news and trends for the magazine. She also contributes to Glamour.com and designs the monthly Glamour by Lane Bryant collection. Formerly, Chan was a plus-size model and contributor to Italian Vogue, where she covered plus-size fashion for Vogue Italia. She also spent time in various departments at the Council of Fashion Designers of America, Interview, and Cosmopolitan. She currently lives in Brooklyn, New York, and let's welcome her here. Now, to round out our panel, we have Alex Garza. She's a YouTube content creator and vlogger, and as a certified makeup artist and beauty gatekeeper, Alex is showing the fans around the world how to feel, be, and celebrate their most beautiful self. With nearly 1 million fans and subscribers across her social media channels, Alex shares her life's milestones, adventures, advice, and special moments. With all the world, with her warm smile, happy heart, impeccable wardrobe, and dynamite eyebrows. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Alex. So today we're going to be talking about beauty, first and foremost, but we're going to be talking about what it means to all of us, how that's ideas evolved. And so I'm going to ask you guys specific questions, but first and foremost, I like to start it with a general question. What does beauty mean to you, or when do you feel the most beautiful? What is that moment? Down the line.
Yeah, we'll start from me. I mean, beauty for me is whenever I feel the most free, when I feel confident. I think that there's nothing sexier or empowering than a confident woman. Because, when you feel confident, you can tackle the world. And for me, I mean, that varies, whether that's like getting ready for my day, playing my favorite song, having just done my hair and makeup, which I love doing, and putting an outfit on that I feel really good in. I feel like I can do anything and put my best foot forward, which is always a very good thing.
I want to know what your favorite song is later. Beauty for me it's interesting because it's kind of shifted for me in recent years, and I've kind of come to a place where beauty isn't trying to be like the pictures in the magazines and like somebody else, or like your favorite celeb, or like Miss America. You guys are beautiful in your own way, and Alex, and being like Alex. And just feeling like the best version of myself. So, like your program, eating well, dressing in a way that you feel good, doing your hair and makeup because it makes you feel like you. That, to me, is beauty.
I agree with both of you guys. Obviously, I think beauty is just when you're having that great day and you feel confident. And for me, I love doing my hair and doing my makeup and just having a great day and going out and just tackling the world and tackling my day and being confident while doing it. That's what beauty is to me.
I love that so much. Lauren, I want to go back to what you were saying a little bit about what we see in the magazines. And what are your thoughts on how magazines portray women, and are we going in the right direction? Have you seen change? Is there change? And just what should we be doing, or what should they be doing?
Yeah, it's such a good question, but it does go back to what I was saying about there being a shift. And part of course, the shift in me is the shift in the media, and what we've been seeing and taking in. And I do think that magazines are doing a great job, a much better job. We have a commitment to, obviously, because of all of me, size diversity. Teen Vogue is doing great stuff across the board with all kinds of diversity, representing all kinds of women. There are sites online like Revelist who are up and coming, who are representing previously unheard voices. And as that whole picture of women diversifies and becomes a little less about what we look like and what we wear and more about what we're saying. I saw that. Don't take a picture of me doing that. Oh. I think that it is changing, and I think that it is moving in the right direction, yeah.
Good. No, I love that. I love that so much. Okay, Alex, I'm going to ask you something. Okay. With it being as your platform, when we're talking about, I guess, impressioning people, such as Teen Vogue, or going into people, having such a social media platform, what is something that you keep in the back of your mind that you want your viewers to recognize, or what's something that you want them to take away from watching your videos?
Yeah, I always try to just show my real life and show what I'm really doing. And being relatable, but it's not even trying to be relatable. I am just a normal girl, and I love showing my really good moments or my not so good moments and my moments when I'm happy or struggling with something, and just sharing those struggles with other women around the world, and we can all kind of like talk about it together and get through things together, and then it becomes this happy, safe place where we can all kind of share what we're going through.
And so, Vanessa, through the unbelievable fame that you've achieved, has there been a point in that spectrum or in that timeline where you felt that you became this free, true, authentic, transparent, beautiful self? Was there a moment, or was it a journey? Or
It was definitely a
Yeah.
journey. I mean, because I think growing up in general is hard. Learning to love yourself is hard. And when you have thousands of other eyes on you while you're trying to do it, it makes it even more difficult. And I got to a point in my life pretty early on, probably around 18, where I was like, this is my life and I only get one of them, and I should be the person I want to be and not censor myself because people may be looking. And just kind of gave myself the okay to be me and to express myself as freely as I want to, regardless of how that may seem to others.
No, I love that. I love that so much. So is there, and all of you all, is there ever a piece of advice, like a phrase, or has anyone told you something that maybe clicked for you in regards to true beauty and finding that authenticity? Was it a moment? Was it, what's the best piece of advice that you've gotten in it? Anyone? Yeah, go for it.
I mean, for me, I always just try to be myself, and some people are going to love it, and some people are going to hate it, and some people aren't going to care, but I'm still going to be me and just do my life and do my thing.
I don't really think I ever got really great advice on that, which is probably why it took me so long to get there. Like I'm talking about, that shift was very recent. But I will make this about me, and I will tell you, that's something that I tell people, is that what we absorb really affects us, whether it's subconscious or not. And so one of the things that I did when I really kind of tried to rejig my mind was to go through my Instagram feed and unfollow all of the people that, whether they're good or bad people or influences or not, made me feel a little less than by looking at their pictures, and started following people like my friend Ashley Graham and, bloggers like Gabby Gregg and women with strong voices, women who work in tech, women who work in da-da-da, things like that made me feel like, oh yeah, I feel good about looking at this. And then that kind of over time helps change your mind.
I don't think I was given this advice, but it's advice that I tell myself, is don't be afraid to be bold, whether that's with my word to my friends or family, with my work, with my look, to just not be scared to really be bold.
So in these roles that you all have in being influencers, do you have a hope or dream or a goal for the next generation of women empowerment, of a next generation of girls who have to go through Instagram at a very young age, dealing with that comparison really early on? Is there a type of goal or a dream that you have for this next generation of women empowerment?
For me, I think it's not to fall into the trap of comparison, because social media is so good at painting a picture for people that they want the world to see. And while it may be great and a fun way to keep up with your friends, it really can create a lot of self-hatred or comparison, and it's just not healthy. And I think that I just really want the generation to know that this isn't the only reality. Like, we all have our issues. We all have our self-insecurities. And the more that we can talk about it, the more that we can create a community and work through things together rather than being alone and hiding it.
Absolutely. Either of you?
That was a really good answer.
No, I know. That was great. That was awesome. We can keep going from it. Absolutely. So what about, instead of going for the future, what about lately? I know that you were just talking about following women that inspire you, but who are women in your life and in your life that you look up to for this inspiration of living a life of transparency and of confidence?
I love Carla Gugino. I got to work with her in Sucker Punch, and she's just one of those women who is so smart, so educated, so sensual, and so grounded. And I think that's such a beautiful thing to aspire to. She just is kind of like the all in all woman for me.
The dream. Yeah.
I actually have my mom and my sister here today. And yeah, I think we're all three very alike, but we also try to be our own person and do our own thing and just, you know, just be happy and confident. And they're big role models to me, and I love them.
I love that women are taking more action these days too. I think I had seen this question on your prep sheet, and I was thinking about like which women have done really like inspiring things lately. And I don't know if you guys saw, but the women of Iceland, did you see their protest? A mob of them, all walked out of their jobs at 2:38 p.m. because that time correlated to how much percent of the day they got paid for versus men. Yeah, look it up. So anyways, that was my answer, because I thought they were so badass. Yeah. Yeah. I might do it tomorrow. Yeah. Just every day from now on.
Okay, Vanessa, I want to hear about, I've heard about this girl power movement and this girl power moment that you experienced. And can you tell us more about the last girl power moment that you had? Girl power.
You heard of
Feeling
one
it.
specifically or no?
Maybe
No,
just in general,
okay.
girl power moment.
Girl power moment. I like it. Last girl power moment. One very memorable one that I have was I was doing this movie Sucker Punch, and a bunch of really incredible, strong, smart, focused women were doing this film, and it was an action flick. So of course we had to do all the training necessary to look like we can actually hold a gun up, and we were training with Navy SEALs, and it was the most intense physical thing I've ever done in my life. And my first day, we were all doing a circuit. And if you fell out of your circuit, he would stop the clock and make you do it all over again. It's my first day. There were these Olympic rings that you just simply had to hold on to. It's all you got to do. Just hold on. And it was a minute, and 30 seconds come along, and my forearms feel like they are about to explode. And I was like, oh my God, like, I did not think it was going to be this hard. Like, you have to stick with it, Vanessa. I hold on for 10 more seconds, and I literally feel like I'm going to faint from like the pain that this is bringing me. And 2 more seconds go by, and I let go. I couldn't do it. And he's like, okay, again. And I was like, oh my God, he's actually going to make us do this again. So I try. I'm at this point so sore, and I can only get through 30 seconds. And he's like, okay, again. And at this point, I'm literally like looking at all the other girls, like in tears, so like embarrassed that I'm making them do this over and over again. And the last time, naturally, I only lasted like 10 seconds. But after that, all the girls came up to me and gave me a big hug, and it's like, you're fine, we're in this together. And just like, I think the camaraderie and the relationship that was built in that moment of pushing yourself beyond your boundaries was something that was so special, that when you have other women to do it with, you really do feel like you can tackle the world. So girl power.
That's a great story. I love it so much. Okay, Alex, if you could go back to your very first vlog, your very first one ever, what would you tell yourself?
I can remember it, actually.
What was it? What was it about?
It was Easter. My sister filmed it. I don't know if she remembers,
Easter
but
vlog?
it was like my outfit of the day. And I just showed my little dress that I wore for Easter. But if I could go back in time, I would just tell myself to get ready for a wild ride, and it's going to be everything you hoped it would be. And just be excited about it. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes I was worried, like, what are people saying about me? Do they think this is silly or whatever? And I pushed past it, and I'm so glad I did, looking
Yeah.
back now especially, because they're probably all jealous. So I'm just, I'm glad I did it, and I look back
Right.
on it, and I'm not, I'm excited about it. I'm happy about it.
Absolutely. So if you could, and when you tell girls, when there are girls that want to aspire to be like you and are starting their new vlog, their new blog, what advice would you give them in that first process?
I always tell people to just talk about or show what you would want to watch and what you do in your free time, and whatever hobby or interest you have, talk about that and show yourself, doing that. And viewers and numbers and stuff will come naturally if you're excited about what you're talking about and you're really passionate about it and you love it. It'll just come natural.
Okay, so we have this question I think is interesting. Can you give an example of when someone else helped you feel empowered? We're talking about women supporting women and not comparison and having that sisterhood. But when is a moment or an example can you give of when another woman helped you out or encouraged you to be your best self?
I feel like my mom does that all the time. The other day, actually, it's been a hectic year for me, which I'm very grateful for. But I haven't slowed down much. And I came home, and my mom was there, and she stopped me, and she looked at me, and she was like, "Honey, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I see sadness in your eyes." I was like, I need a coffee, Mom. Like, I'm fine. But just the amount of care, obviously, she's my mom. She's always going to look out for me and have my back. But just the way that she goes about her life, I mean, she is literally sunshine compacted into a human being. Is just the sweetest thing ever, and she inspires me so much every day.
I guess I just couldn't pick just one. Your mom sounds awesome.
Same. Yeah, my mom too is pretty awesome.
Okay, my mom's not bad.
I love that. Well, I think it's cool that we're talking of more of like they're living by example, you know, and not even thinking of specific moments of when people empower us, but it's an example of a lifestyle of encouragement that I think is really cool. I like that a lot. Okay. Vanessa.
Yes.
Having such this strong voice in a fan base, what is, and is there a kind of mantra that you yourself have for going through everyday life of trying to find your true beauty, or is there something, or is it the same, or is it different of what you want your viewers to see? Is it the same message that you want all your fans to see and that they want to emulate? Does that make sense? Like, what's your mantra of what you want your life to look like?
I want my life to look like someone who's enjoying life, because I do. Of course, I have my moments where I am down and out, of course. But for the most part, I'm extremely grateful. And I think gratitude is one way to really embrace your life, your true happiness, and your true beauty. Because when you're grateful for life, it's like you can be truly happy and appreciative for everything that you have and everything that you are.
I love that. I'm going to snap for that. That was really great. That was awesome. That was so great. So in thinking of what is the one thing that you want your followers or your fan base to find or find inspiration from in watching you and watching your life?
I want them to live a life as free as me. I feel like I do what I want, and life is too short to not, and to be bold, and to follow your dreams, and to reach for the stars, because if you're reaching for them, you'll get further than if you reached for them Hawaii, you know? It's like, you gotta think big, and I think that as a little girl, I dreamt of being on Broadway, and got to do that a few years ago, and just so many things that I wanted to do, I'm slowly being able to check off my checklist, and I think it's because I work really, really hard, and I think my fans know that. So hopefully I'm leading with example for them to do the same thing.
I love that. Daring greatly, absolutely. Okay, Lauren, earning a seat at the table as the fashion features editor at Glamour is absolutely amazing. That's unbelievable. So proud of you. But I want you to tell us what empowered you to start that journey. What made you, I guess, want to be in that position and make that kind of an influence?
I guess it was kind of like piece by piece by piece. Mm-hmm. So I used to be a varsity basketball player. That was my original excuse for being this big. And basketball? Yeah, but so I was in university in Canada and my appendix exploded. So it was bad aftermath and I couldn't go back to playing basketball like in time to get the next season. And I was kind of like just sitting around. And I started thinking about what I loved, and I loved fashion magazines at the time. And so I started writing for the school paper, a little local blog, volunteering here and there in Toronto, and that kind of picked up. And then after I finished university, I moved here, and I was interning and working for free for like too long. But I became a plus-size model by way of needing a visa. It was a big, long story. But that opportunity kind of showed me the world of like mixing the fashion that I loved with a message for women that made them love them. And so having both of those experiences and, like you said, working really hard and being out there and doing everything that you can, everything that I could, kind of empowered me, I guess, to bring it all together and try to do something of my own. Yeah. And it all happens to be very good timing with the whole body positivity movement and Glamour being able to, see some work. And, it, by no fault of mine, it was just really good timing.
That's awesome. So what has been, and this may not make sense, but what is the hardest part about getting that message out? You talk about you want that message of women loving themselves, but what is the hardest part, have you found, of getting that message across?
Just breaking tradition in an industry that is like actually very corporate. Mm-hmm. Just like doing things the way they haven't always been done. You hit a lot of roadblocks that are like, well, this is the way we do it. So why break it? So you need a lot of conviction. You need to know what you're talking about, and you also have to have women around you who, support you and believe in you and believe the same thing. And yeah, my current boss is a very good answer to your former question about empowering women. Yeah, she's great.
Okay, so this question I think is pretty neat, but what is your goal for the next generation of women? That's a pretty lofty question, I feel like. But what is, and for all of you all, what is, I'm throwing the real pageant questions in there, but so what is, it's what I do. So what is, the biggest goal that you can say, the most vague, give me a vague answer, but what is your idea, and for all of you, what's this, you can say very dreamlike, very kitschy, cliche answer of what you want and what's your dream for the next generation of women. Maybe it's dealing like something we didn't have to deal with, or you know what I mean? Something on those lines.
I guess if I really think about it, it's just that women start having, and not that the circles that we're in and the lives that we have led are hindering to women, but there are parts of this country, parts of this city, parts of everywhere that women don't have the same opportunities as their peers. And I guess just by way of giving them those opportunities, like with the Girl Project, who pays for girls to go to school or go back to school after they've dropped out. Then they can go become doctors and teachers and Miss Americas and actresses and influencers, and I think that that is a good starting point, if that answers.
Yeah, I think that's awesome, and people really will just be happy about that, and women will have a chance to spread what they love and what they're happy about and what they like, their message, so I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, the telltale of just loving yourself. It amazes me how many people have like body dysmorphia and look in the mirror and see something completely disfigured from what they truly are. My goal is that women can look in the mirror and be able to adore themselves and to love the person that they are inside and out, because it'll just make the world a better place.
I know this question isn't asked for me, but I'm really excited for when women can stop comparing themselves to other women. Yeah. That's what I'm really pumped for. Okay, I love this question because every pageant girl gets asked it, so I'm asking it to you guys too. What would you have told yourself on your journey? I'll make it more specific to this, but on your journey to accepting beauty, to finding this, I guess, comfort and contentment in your beauty and joy in it. If you could go back 10 years, what would you have told yourself? What would you have told yourself 10 years ago?
I would have told, this doesn't fully correlate with beauty, but in a sense it does, because I think that being educated, being smart, speaking your mind is beautiful. And I think that I've definitely held my tongue one too many times growing up. I was a very shy girl, and it was something that I really had to work on, and being able to accept my word as valid, and really give that the strength that it deserves. So I would go back and tell myself, girl, speak your mind. Like, it's fine. Like, what's the worst you can do? Because this is obviously what you're thinking. And I think when you don't speak your mind, it like hinders you, and it sits on your shoulders and it weighs you down. It's why do that to yourself when you can just be free?
Yeah, I love it.
I guess that I wouldn't have correlated beauty so much with accomplishment and value. And so I guess for all of those pictures around my room that were, ripped out Victoria's Secret models on my wall, on my ceiling, so that when I woke up, I was like, I will be them. I would have gone on Forbes.com and printed off these boss-ass women making $4 billion a year and put them beside them. You know what I mean? And then that way, you have a more well-rounded picture. That's what I would have done. That's great. Yeah, waking up to Marissa Mayer.
Yeah, I think, 10 years ago, beauty in this whole industry wasn't what it is today. And, loving makeup wasn't always thought of as this, cool thing. Sometimes it was like, oh, you wear makeup. But now it's thought of as this amazing thing in this art form, and I'm proud of it, and I'm proud that I have this knowledge to share with other women. And it's not frowned upon. It's an amazing thing that you can just, show your true self and be confident. And I think that's awesome that beauty is something that's exciting now, and it's a positive thing now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, second, I guess, and this is kind of wrapping up, but last question, kind of reverse of that. In 10 years from now, I guess, what characteristic do you hope to have gained in this? Or what characteristic or what idea or what feeling in regards to beauty or regards to acceptance do you hope to have had? Or maybe there isn't one. Maybe you feel you're killing it. But if in 10 years, what's the next thing you want to feel like you have accomplished in that?
Well, in 10 years, I will be 38. So I'm hoping in that time I will learn to accept aging and to not feel the need to stick needles in my face and to embrace age because it's a beautiful thing. And I think nowadays we're so brainwashed with the idea of perfection and plastic surgery is so accessible nowadays, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just not for me. So I'm going to try to age as gracefully as I can.
I guess I just hope the work that I'm doing continues to foster that acceptance in other people. But it's interesting that you were thinking of age, because I was thinking of, I wonder how my perception of beauty and myself and other women will change after motherhood. And I bet you that will be another challenge, for me at least.
Same, and I just hope that, like we've been talking about comparison and everything, and even just looking in the mirror and seeing yourself as who you really are and accepting who you are and, not being fearless and being excited to be who you are and show everyone that.
I love it. I love it so much.
What about you?
What about me?
Yeah.
Oh, pageant question. Gosh, I think that, and one thing I've learned this year the most is I really hope that I find my beauty not who others say I am, but who I say I am. I think that is something that we always talk about, but finding your worth and your value, not in very temporary and fleeting things, such as Instagram likes or what you're wearing and who people say you are, but finding your worth in just being, not successes or failures. But I think that'll be an ever-changing and ever-growing thing. But thank you,
Love it.
sister. But I think we could literally talk about this for forever, but this concludes our panel discussion, and I'm unbelievably inspired by all three of you. Thank you so much for being here. This has been way too much fun with you all. And yes, absolutely, come on.